Well, I cannot believe that our time in Mazatlan is coming to an end.
I know. I'm really sad. This place has been absolutely amazing.
We have really loved being here. It's been an absolute treat. And we're going to tell you what it costs for us to live here for 1 month. And we're even going to give you a tour of our Airbnb that we fell in love with. We have just been so in love with this location. Our actual Airbnb, the accommodations that we have been wonderful, and we want to share that with you. And we also want to just go over what our budget looked like for 1 month here.
So I have to be honest. Before we came to Mazatlan, after we booked it, after we paid for it, everything, I was a little hesitant to come to Mazatlan because of a lot of the things that we had heard in the news, huh?
Yeah, right at the beginning of the year, there was some civil turmoil that was happening here, and it was making news in the United States. So it was definitely on our radar before we'd already made our reservations, but before we came down here.
Yeah, and just to be clear with what Melissa said, she said civil turmoil here. It wasn't actually in Mazatlan. It was in the capital city of the state of Sinaloa, which is a ways away from Mazatlan. But let me tell you, as much as we love Puerto Vallarta, which is where we were right before we were here, if I had to choose to come back to either Mazatlan or Puerto Vallarta, which one would you choose?
Oh, Mazatlan, hands down.
Yeah, I Mazatlan has been a wonderful, beautiful surprise. The beaches are amazing. The food,
Oh, it's
the
fabulous.
food has been wonderful. Now, all these things, they're very nice in Puerto Vallarta as well. I am not knocking Puerto Vallarta one bit, but just our personal preference, I think we really enjoyed Mazatlan a lot more. Mazatlan is a bigger city. I think there's a few more things to do here. We also found it a little more walking friendly.
Yeah, it's hard to describe unless you can see it. The streets are just a little better kept here, so things like if you need to walk with a little bit of assistance or if you have some mobility issues, it was a little difficult getting around Puerto Vallarta. The streets were a little more difficult to just walk on. But here you can ride a bike, you can walk, you
Yeah.
can rollerblade. The Malecon is really well kept. It's very pedestrian friendly. And some of the side streets, so off the Malecon,
Mhm.
it's very easy to get around. It was very, very walkable. I mean,
Absolutely.
we
Yeah.
walked everywhere.
Yeah, we went for, I don't know, many walks throughout the week. And even if we didn't go through the neighborhoods, we would just walk along the Malecon, which is the boardwalk that runs almost the length of the city. I mean, it is many miles. And we did a video on the Malecon here in Mazatlan, and you can check that out. It's on our channel. But the boardwalk or the Malecon here in Mazatlan stretches for miles, and the beaches stretch for miles as well. And the sand is wonderful here. There are some rocky areas that aren't so good for swimming, but the areas that aren't so good for swimming are absolutely beautiful to see. There are some hills, there's some little islands with great lookouts. I mean, there's just lots of different things to do and lots of different things to see. I can honestly say I fell in love with Mazatlan. It absolutely blew me away, and I'd come back in a heartbeat. Would you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we loved it.
So before we jump into the price of everything and what it costs us for a month here in Mazatlan, we wanted to give you a tour of our Airbnb. We loved it here. It was incredible. So we would just like to show you around. So this is our apartment here in Mazatlan. It's kind of a studio style. There's a divider here in the center that separates the bedroom area. We have a lot of extra storage here for all of our stuff. A smart TV, which we have a Fire Stick that we travel with. So one of the other really great features that we had that our Airbnb came with, this incredibly huge shower. And then the in-suite we had, this is a washer-dryer combo, which not a lot of the Airbnbs here, not a lot of the apartments here in Mexico had that. So we were really excited to find that. It has been a lifesaver for us. So we have quite a bit of space here for the two of us, and we do a lot of cooking here in our apartment. A little designated work area, and then our favorite area, which is our patio. It's incredible out here. This is our favorite place to spend some time. We have a drink out here almost every night, and then we have the park down here that we love to sit and watch things. The view is absolutely incredible up here. We have really loved being in this Airbnb. We'll leave the link to it in the description below. We highly recommend it. The owners were incredibly responsive to everything. We just had a blast here. I mean, the view is incredible. That alone was worth booking it here. We've had so much fun in this location. So for 1 month of accommodations here in Mazatlan, the total price that we paid was $1,166.41. And our Airbnb, like we said, we gave you the tour. We loved it here. It was the perfect accommodation for two people. It was just enough room. We loved the kitchen. We were able to cook a lot in it. We loved our balcony. I'm pretty sure that's what sold us on this place. We had the pictures of the Airbnb when we booked it, obviously, but I don't think that those pictures do this place justice. It was fabulous.
It was. I will admit it. There was many dirty martinis and beers drank out on the balcony.
Micheladas.
Micheladas, yeah. Delicious. All right, so the next category that we keep track of all of our expenses is restaurants. And of course, just like it sounds, that is the total for going out to breakfast, to brunch, to lunch, stopping and grabbing a Gatorade or a water at one of the local gas stations and going out to dinner. So it includes all of those types of expenses. Now, that is going to fluctuate greatly depending on how you like to travel or your style of travel. Melissa and I like to mix it up and kind of go out to dinner a bunch of times. I mean, because we like it. She brunches pretty hard.
Oh, she brunches hard.
Yeah, she brunches real hard. She loves the mimosas. So for 1 month here in Mazatlan, our restaurant costs were $531.93. So like I said, you may spend more, you may spend less, but the more you spend on restaurants, I guess the good news is the less you spend on groceries.
Also, if you bribe your spouse to do any kind of hike and you need to promise them mimosas and bacon afterwards, that goes into your restaurant expenses.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen the video that we did right before this one, I literally had to bribe Melissa with brunch, mimosas, bacon, the whole thing, because we climbed to the top of a hill and it was freaking hot.
Yes.
Yeah, but it worked. She went up there with me. Thank you.
Thanks for the mimosas.
Yeah, you bet.
For 1 month of groceries here in Mazatlan, our total cost was $407.28. And the grocery stores that we found that were also in Puerto Vallarta that we found up here in Mazatlan were Soriana and a Fresh Market, which is a Lay grocery store. Those are pretty popular around here. And we also try and frequent like what would be considered like a farmer's market. So the local markets that the locals get all their produce from. We got quite a bit of produce, some meat, some eggs, some cheese, and some like household goods stuff like my hot sauce from the Pino Suarez market that's here in town. And we try and kind of back and forth. If there's something that we know that we can get that we need, like for dinner that night, we'll just run over to the farmer's market and go get it, to the local market and go grab that stuff. But like paper towel, toilet paper, soap, shampoo, that kind of stuff we'll get from the grocery store. So the next category that we had after 1 month of being here in Mazatlan is our entertainment category. Now this includes our adult beverages. We actually got, both of us got massages and pedicures. And this includes our Netflix, our VPN, it includes our Adobe subscription. The total for 1 month was $343.99.
Tell them a little bit about that massage. It was incredibly affordable.
Yeah, this was a super fun afternoon. So we both booked two 80-minute massages and two pedicures, and that was with gratuity. It came to about $100, which is unheard of in the States, by the way. So it was so much fun to take Jason out, get a massage, get him his very first pedicure.
Yeah, I have really nice feet now. The next category we have is one of the recurring costs that we have every month, no matter what location we're in, and that is our health insurance and our life insurance. Now, before we decided to quit our jobs and sell everything and start traveling around the world, I spent many hours going through different insurance policies for international health insurance. And the one that we decided to go with is Safety Wing. So we use Safety Wing health insurance, and that covers us if we get injured or get sick. It's just really nice to have that peace of mind while we're out traveling. All right, so the total for our health and our life insurance, which is a recurring cost, was $220 for the month.
After 1 month of being here in Mazatlan, our cell phone bill, which is another reoccurring bill that we have every single month, but differs in each location. After 1 month here, our cell phone bill came to $22.77.
And that was just for you?
No, that was for both of us.
That's amazing.
So two phones. We get our cell phone plan through Telcel, which is the local cellular network that we use here. And it was for 3 gigabytes of data, but it's unlimited social media data and unlimited talk and text. And we actually don't go through the 3 gigs because pretty much anywhere you go, you can connect to the Wi-Fi there. We have Wi-Fi. We make sure that we have Wi-Fi in all of our Airbnb locations. So that's actually not a concern of ours that we run over the amount of data that we're given with that plan.
And also, that's where that VPN comes in really handy again. So for some of you that don't know what a VPN is, it's a virtual private network. And the VPN, it masks your location, and it also encrypts data that is going into and out of your device. So the VPN, it's just another way to have peace of mind whenever you're connected to public Wi-Fi. All right, so our last category is transportation. Okay, so obviously as we are traveling around the world, we did not bring a vehicle with us, so we rely on public transportation everywhere we go. So if we are unable to walk, or if it's too hot outside and we just don't want to walk, while we were here in Mazatlan, we used a majority of Uber.
Yeah.
We use Uber most of the time that we were here. However, there are lots of taxis that are easy to get a hold of. Just make sure that when you get into the taxi that you have a price that is agreed upon before you take off.
Before you get into the taxi,
Yes,
have
before you get in the
a price that you've agreed upon.
Absolutely. Same with the pulmonias. Okay, so the pulmonias, we talked about that a little bit, 2 videos ago? Mm-hmm. We talked about the pulmonias, and kind of it's like a souped up golf cart. It's kind of open air. Those are everywhere. You can catch those, take city tours, things like that. But again, just like the taxi, make sure that you have a price agreed upon before you get in. Uber works just like Uber in the United States or wherever else in the world. The price is already set there for you. So I think that's kind of why we prefer to use Uber. It's just easier and you don't have to haggle for the cost of the trip. There's also an incredible bus system here, and the bus costs 13 pesos. per ride. And most of the buses here in Mazatlan are actually air conditioned. So for 13 pesos, it'll get you pretty much anywhere in the city, which is quite affordable.
So the grand total for two people for 1 month here in Mazatlan, with all of our categories included, the grand total came to $2,796.81, which breaks it down to a cost per day for the both of us of $93.23, or $46.61 per person per day. We just want to say thank you so much for watching our videos. We really appreciate it. If you have not already subscribed, please subscribe. Please like our videos. We really appreciate the comments. Also, if you will stay tuned, we're going to start sharing videos from our next location, Playa del Carmen.
I know, I'm really excited. I know the Mazatlan has beautiful beaches, but it's also known that Playa del Carmen has absolutely beautiful beaches. So we will see you very soon from Playa del Carmen. Bye. Okay, you go.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm smiling too hard now.